Houghton. It remains a very, very good FA Cup final. And Houghton! What a magnificent goal!
Good evening and welcome to All Things Sky Blue match preview. Our game at Bramall Lane on Friday night, live on Sky against Sheffield United. Before I bring my guest in, Ben, the Travelling Blade, just remember where you can find us. We are available on Twitter or X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We are live on YouTube as well. Please go and look out for some of the ex-players that we've interviewed as well. We're partnered with the Anecdote Sports Bar and the Sky Blue Tavern where I am tonight. And we're sponsored by Wright Steel Fabrications. He can do your steel fabrication work up and down the country, but mainly in the Coventry and Warwickshire area. So, without further ado, let me introduce my guest, Ben, the Travelling Blade. How are you, Ben?
I'm very good, thanks, Stuart. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us again. Obviously, you joined us on the first one, where it ended up a 2-2 draw. Very feisty. Admirahovic I can't pronounce his name, but he got sent off. Brissett did the little wink that goes around as well every time that he comes on. Going back to that game then, Ben, how did you feel about that game? Was it a game that you thought that you dropped 2 points, or was you happy with the point?
I mean, it was one of them. It was a strange one. I was sort of only like half watching, half keeping along. I was out on a monstrous pub called in Liverpool at the time, so I was only sort of like half watching it with in the pubs that we went into that had the screen on. And then, from what I could tell, it sort of kicked off. And I'm on a group chat with a few. I mean, I'm a rather pessimistic Blades fan, but a few doom and gloomers. And I was sort of like, we're sat in one pub and it didn't have it on, and I just saw the messages flicking through from Blades that were watching it on TV, and I was like, yeah, I'm missing nothing here. It seemed to be like, I think one of them games where the bits I saw, obviously saw the highlights back, where you're thinking, from what I can remember, we were sort of largely second best. It sounded like Coventry were the much better side. We had two, I think they were pretty decent goals from what I remember though, and people said, I remember the fans watching said, don't get me wrong, the 2 goals we scored were good bits of play, but everything else has been shocking. So it sounds like we definitely probably should have lost, especially given the red card just before half time. And I'm not really sure about what happened in the second half, but I think it was pretty much all Coventry. Just looking at the stats here, I've got up, it's about 68% possession to Coventry. So I think it's one of them where you're thinking, even though we were up against it with 10 men, I still expect us to hold on. I'm still disappointed with the latest goal from, I can't remember his name now, but having said that, though, we probably should have lost. So a draw is probably, it almost felt like we sort of nicked a draw in a way, given the other context of the game. But as ever, a few moments of brilliance from us, and we get the goals to get at least a point.
Yeah, obviously it was at home. I was at the game. And for me, it was definitely a sending off. I couldn't really argue with that, to be fair. We did dominate, but our defensive display at the time wasn't the greatest anyway. We'd lost Mark Robbins. Reece Carr was in charge for 3 interim games, which one against you was one of them at home. We had 3 tough games, to be fair, just like we've got 3 tough games that we've started against Sunderland, but obviously we'll come on to that game in a minute. But we've got a run of 3 tough games now with Lampard in charge. Obviously, Reece Carr was in charge for the game against you. Things have slightly changed, and obviously you can see by the form table and the table itself that we've definitely started to start playing a lot better. Just going on to that Sunderland game in our last game, which was a 3-0 win, comprehensive win. They didn't lay a glove on us, really. It was definitely all us. The only downside is we didn't have Radoni. I say a downside, it must have been a good side, really, because we didn't have Radoni and we still scored. Hadji Wright was just a beast. But yeah, it's always been a close game against you, hasn't it, Ben, really? I think in the past 6, we've won 2 each and we've drew 2 in between that somewhere as well. The last sort of big-ish win I think we had a couple of weeks ago, which was 4-1 at our place, I think it was. And again, that was a comprehensive win as well. That was such a good win for us. It was actually the same season that we beat Fulham 4-1 as well. So, you know, two of the big boys we all got really good wins against. So hopefully that bodes well for us. You know, we've got a big win against Sunderland. Hopefully we can get a win against you guys on Friday night. How are you looking forward to this game? Are you obviously you said that you're a pessimistic fan as such, but are you optimistic being at home?
Yeah, I think I'm sort of disappointed with the timing of the international break. I mean, it's become a bit of a cliche. Whether it's still true for us, but it was a bit of a cliche that started under Wilder where I don't know if other teams have this, but we never do that well after the international break. But obviously our last game was the Sheffield derby, which of course, as ever, we won. Did a double over that lot, beat them twice, no goals conceded. Sheffield, as ever, is red. So after that, I was like, I just wanted that game like that afternoon. Like, you know, I just wanted to play you that afternoon, like straight away, just because obviously joking aside, but I thought, why can't it be like next weekend? Yeah, obviously that was back on Sunday the 9th now, I believe. I'm thinking, why can't we just play? Such a shame, because obviously all the fan base is like absolutely buzzing and electric, as are the players. So I'm thinking, it's just such a shame that, you know, we've got to now go away and people sort, you know, I think we've come through the international break fairly scot-free. We have a few players like Chowdhury went away to Bangladesh. Big Keithers played with Wales, to name 2. Trying to think if anyone else has really. I think we've had Peck play for like the England elite young squad or whatever. Okay. So I think hopefully we've come through that fairly scot-free with injuries. I've not heard anything. So yeah, I was sort of like, why can't we just play like? I'm disappointed that we've had that 2-week break for the next game, but you know, hopefully still it's the first time the fan base will have been together since the Derby Day win. United, fair play to them, have made. I think you can get adult one-off tickets on the Cop for £20, which I think is brilliant. I'm not sure about the side and the fan. Maybe there might be 25 or something. So they made discounted cheaper tickets. So hopefully it's if not a sellout, a good attendance. Obviously a bit of a pain for the Coventry fans being on a Friday night. So and I think we charge silly money as well. It might be like mid to high 30s for Coventry fans.
I think it's 37, isn't it?
Yeah, disappointing from United, to be fair. I mean, there were people there were other clubs that remain nameless that were charging the same as that, if not more, back in 2017. So, but still, you should, you know, don't compare yourself to others, just try and be good. So hopefully it's a good following from the Sky Blues. Obviously, you've got the numbers. It's just the timing's a bit awkward and the prices is a bit silly as well. But hopefully it's a good, rocking, buoyant home crowd that are still on a high from the Derby Day win. I'm just worried about, obviously, you've got the likes of, I've not really been watching Coventry closely, but obviously you can't avoid Hadji Wright's numbers this season. I guess for you, he's like, you know, the Campbell for us. And we afford teams chances whilst we've got some brilliant players that come up with moments of brilliance. We've picked up more points than anyone this season. Everyone's talking about Leeds as if they're like, you know, 2010 Barcelona. We gave them a 2-point head start. They've beaten us twice and we sat here on the same points as them. But we still afford teams a lot of chances, to be fair, and some good ones as well. So I think now that, you know, often I think we're playing the likes of, you know, we offered a lot of chances to Portsmouth, to Luton, to that lot, but, you know, not the best, you know, quality of players on the end of those chances. Now that we might have the likes of, what's his name I just mentioned, right on the end. I think he's not injured, is he? Is he going to be fit for this game? Or
yeah, no, he came back from injury against Derby, which was 2 games ago. and he didn't have the best game, but he was on the left wing where where he's played before, and he's played brilliantly before. But against Sunderland in our last game, he played straight up front as the number 9.
Yeah.
We had Mason Clark on the left, and we had Sakamoto on the right. And the first 10 minutes, I thought he was a little bit iffy, but after that, he was absolutely sublime, and he was like a man mountain. And he absolutely bossed the defenders, Trey Hume, Luke O'Nine, and a couple of others that, are good defenders, and he made them look average. But the whole team against Sunderland were absolutely superb. Couldn't fault them. If he sticks with the same team, it wouldn't surprise me. We were missing Radoni because he got injured against Oxford. He's been out for about 3 games. He dislocated his shoulder. So for us, even though in a way like you, we didn't want the international break because beating Sunderland 3-0, who were just above us, it was brilliant. And again, we wanted to play the following Saturday as well. But to allow players to have a bit of a rest and recovery and bring players back, because Sheaf will be back as well. Rudon is back. Haji Wright, he played so well against Sunderland, but he'd only really just come back from injury as well. So it just lets him recoup a little bit more. We're pretty much up to full strength, really. But talking about your injured players, you have got a couple injured, to be fair. Tom Davis was injured. I think he's slowly coming back. Same with Vinny Souza, Harry Clark, Sackleton. And for me, Arblaster, who is absolutely a brilliant midfielder. Are they likely to be back? Or
Arblaster's out for the season.
Is he?
I can't remember when he got I can't remember when he got injured. I think it might have been around November. I can't remember exactly what happened, but they said when I say as soon as it happened, from that moment on, they went, he's not going to be playing for the rest of the season. So that's been a big loss throughout the season. Souza, another big, sort of a big miss. He's been brilliant. He will be in the running for Player of the Season. Just sort of that midfield general. Just great at tidying things up. Like we've got Peck, a young lad in midfield who's having a really good breakthrough season for us. Bit of a rough diamond, and sometimes a bit naive at times and wet behind the ears, but still, he had a bit of brilliant, a nice little move that ended up leading to the goal against that lot and the derby. But what's been great for him is that when he's had Souza next to him, so it gives almost Peck a bit of a free rein or sort of a bit more of a free license to, take a few more risks because there's always Souza. If it does go wrong, there's always Souza there to sort of clean up. Just sort of the midfield basics, really. It's nothing extravagant, but when you're missing it, it just creates a bit of a vacuum in midfield. And we've got Chowdhury, who, bless him, he never knows whether he's going to be starting at right back or CDM. Sometimes switches between the game, and he's been okay for us, to be fair. We're not going to be building a statue by the end of the season, but he's not been bad either, and he's put in some good tackles and some decent, solid performances. He's evidently not as good as Souza, but he sits really quite deep and sometimes a bit too deep. Sometimes he's almost in like the John Egan flipping position, that centre back where John Egan used to sit between Bash and O'Connell. And it'd be like Cooper and Net and then Chowdhury. He's sat that deep and we're thinking, it's all right, but we've now got no one in midfield.
Yeah.
So it can become a bit of a vacuum and we can sometimes get overrun in midfield. So, and then Tom Davies was showing some great performances. He got us the winner at home against Sunderland, I think, back before Christmas. He's been out for a while, so it probably would have been Peck and Davies had he not been injured. But I think they're the main ones really that have sort of been in. I think obviously we've had Gilchrist at right back. He's been injured. He's been out for a while. Not sure where he's sort of been, but I think Souza. I've not seen Wilder's confidence, admittedly, but I'm hoping that he might be at least on the bench for this game. I can't see him starting, but Arblaster gone for the season. It's going to be interesting to see how he comes back next season, whatever league we're in, how he comes back, because he's had a big injury before. He was on loan at Port Vale and he had quite a nasty injury there that I think put him out of action for quite a while, and then he came back, started brilliantly for us, was vice captain. Was he vice? Yeah, vice captain, even captain a few games when Robinson wasn't starting. Was having a pretty good start to the season. Wasn't perfect, bit of a rough diamond still, but great midfielder, similar to how Fleck used to be in his prime. He used to have a nice little jinking run and just would find a pass, would get a goal here or there perhaps. So yeah, shame to lose him, shame to lose Sousa, who's been in and out of the squad throughout the season, but hope for the likes of maybe Davies. I don't know if he's been popping up on the bench. I don't think he has. Davies and or Sousa, I can't see them starting, but are on the bench for Friday. Sorry.
Yeah. Obviously, Harry Souttar, we know, is out for the season anyway. He's gone back to Leicester. Is that a really big miss for you? Are you finding it a big miss?
That's a big miss in every sense of the word. The bloke's about 9'10". But yeah, he was becoming a bit of a cult hero. He'll be one of those in a few years. The streets won't forget. He was absolutely fantastic for us. I was really quite nervous going into the derby just because I remember how immense he was for us in the home tie, and I'm thinking we really, really could do with that. They've got some big boys up front, and we got through it obviously. But I think obviously we had the late collapse against Leeds at home where we shipped 2 late goals in the last 5 minutes to lose 3-1. I think with Souttar there, we draw, if not win that game. He was brilliant. He wasn't just sort of. There's other big centre backs, but there's a difference between, there's loads of big centre backs, but there's those that actually command the box and use and dominate the box, and also he could have a decent pass on him. He'd have the odd little run, nothing extravagant, not like we used to have sort of Harry Maguire running the length of the pitch length of the pitch back in League One, or more famously Basham, doing a bit of a slalom in the middle of the field. He wasn't quite to that level of running, but he could carry out of defence and put on a decent pass just to midfield, not just hit and hoof. I mean, I haven't got the stats to hand, but if you look at the games with and games without and the goals we've conceded, I mean, we had some insane run. I don't even know if we broke some sort of record for clean sheets or games, consecutive games, home games without conceding. And then he's gone, and now, as I mentioned earlier, the amount of chances that we're offering, and we're now getting through on a bit of luck, to be fair. Some of it is skill, but there have been times where you're thinking, if that was a half-decent striker, that's going in the net every day of the week. So we have sort of been getting by. Really big miss. I wish him all the best. He was brilliant. Wouldn't mind seeing him back at the lane someday. I think he's one of them. If we kept him the whole season, I think we may have been looking to sign him. So yeah, hopefully, whether it's with us or elsewhere, wish him all the best. He was absolutely brilliant for us, and the stats with and without him speak for themselves. I think if we'd have had him the whole season, we'd be top of the league by a couple of points, if not a few more.
Yeah. Obviously, in January as well, we'll just go through that a little bit. I think you signed a couple of players. One of them we were looking at as well, which was Rob Holding. Did Rob Holding come in because you lost Souttar mainly? And how has he been performing since he's come in January?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he will have been, because we're playing with sort of a back four at the minute. So all we've really got is you've got Robinson and Anel. We've got I think his name's Jamal Baptiste, who we sort of got on a free from West Ham, who we've only seen against a cup game against Cardiff. We've hardly seen him whatsoever. I think he might have played a few youth games. So yeah, got Holding in sort of almost like as an emergency signing, really. He's not. I don't know if he started a game. I might be wrong on that. I don't know if he started a game. I don't think he has. He's come on a couple of times. I think he looked quite solid, to be fair. I'd even be tempted to be starting him over the likes of maybe Robinson at times. I think he looks just a bit more. It just looks a bit steadier and assured. Sometimes, like Anel and Robinson, I think are brilliant individually, but sometimes can be a bit skittish and a bit haphazard at the back. Whereas when he's been there, he just seems to have been a bit more assured, a bit more calm, steady on the ball. Yeah, I think I'd like to see him start a few more games for us, to be fair, because I think there's been a few games, I'm not sure of his age and that. I think he must be younger than Robinson, but I think Robinson or Nell, you saw Nell sometimes can be a bit hot-headed, as we saw in the reverse fixture.
Yeah.
Both of them can put in some great performances, but it's not the best partnership. And I just think sometimes I'd like to see Holden play a few more games. He looks really confident and calm on the ball, really assured of himself. So yeah, I'd like to see him potentially even start Friday night, to be fair.
Yeah, I would have liked Holding. The only thing that was negative about Holding is his injury worries, because he, the past few seasons, even at Arsenal, he did pick up a few injuries that kept him out for a few games. So you can't always rely on him. It's a little bit. Ben Sheaf is coming that way for us as well. He's back for 4 or 5 games, and then he's out for another 6 games, and it's hard to get that team momentum going when, especially a key player, is out for so long. But our January transfer was quite good. We only brought in Matt Grimes, Swansea's best player, and he's been absolutely a Rolls Royce for us so far. Makes a little odd mistake, but I think he's just getting still used to the team. But apart from that, he can pick a pass, he knows how to defend, and he's ever present, which is always what you want as well. Matty Grimes for us has been absolutely brilliant. So it's going to be an interesting game because, like I said, we've got Lampard now. We've only lost 2 games in 14. So our form has really picked up. But not only our form, slowly our performances have got better. Aside from Derby, which was just absolutely shocking, they've been getting better. And like I said at the start of the podcast, Sunderland was just a complete performance for everybody. And if we're at that level against you guys, then we'll give you a really, really good game, and hopefully we can get over the line. It's going to be tough because, we know that you've got Callum O'Hare. We know that you've got Hamer. How have them two been playing? Are they still influential, or because you've got other great players around them, are they sort of not being as good? Obviously, Hamer, we know what Hamer can produce. It's mainly sort of probably Callum that I'm talking about here.
Yeah, I think Hamer, he'll also be sort of in running for player of the season. He's not always the most consistent, but he is often the point of difference, really. We're sort of quite reliant on him to sort of just... he always has like a lovely little right shot that just bends over the net. That's like a textbook. If you go to Sheffield United and you don't see Hamer put one high and slightly high and wide, you've not been to a Sheffield United game. But he'll often be sort of, I guess, the point of difference, to be fair, for a lot of it. He might not get the goal or assist, but just one of them you want him starting really every game, to be fair. I think we end up sort of, these days, we end up like playing him on one of the wings, to be fair.
Okay.
Yeah, because you'll have like Brewster or O'Hare in the number 10 role, and then you end up with Hamer on one of the wings if he's playing. He loves a yellow card. He's great, but he gets far too many yellow cards. He's already had 2 suspensions this season through yellow cards alone.
Okay.
So pray to God we don't drop into the playoffs, because if we do, he'll probably be suspended for those by the rate he's going up. But yeah, he's not always the most consistent. He has some games are better than others, but he will just be one of those, as you'll know, just the point of difference, just carrying it forward or just with a pass here or there. O'Hare, I wasn't always sold on him at first.
Okay.
I think he might be sort of getting better. He can also, I think, sort of echoing when we used to sort of have Mark Duffy. I think sort of one of the differences was back when we had Mark Duffy, though, he'd be sort of that number 10 player on the edge of the box with sort of a jinking run, zigzag here and there. But back then we had Sharp and McGoldrick in the box, whereas these days it will just be Tyrese Campbell. So he's sort of he's sort of a bit spread thin rather than having 2 strikers to go to. He's just aiming for sort of Ty Campbell. But he never stops running, tenacious, running things down. It's a real asset. I said he never gives up throughout the game. I think he's sort of getting better. He sort of seems to be finding better passes here and there. Finding a bit more space here and there. So I think he's one of them. He has good and bad games, but is just the fact that he's never going to stop running is just such a good asset, especially at this level. So if he's starting or if he's coming on as a sub, he often starts. Really, he often starts. But yeah, maybe I'm just not. I don't have the football intelligence to always appreciate what he's doing. But I think often though, a lot of our tactics just seem to be, where's Gus, where's Tyrese Campbell, pass it to them and hope they can be the point of difference. I don't know. A lot of the time I see us get to the box and then go, right, now what? And then it's sort of like pass, round, sort of try and pass around the D. And so often, it might not be always. I think often like we don't always have the right chemistry at times where there'll be people making a run and it's not noticed, or there'll be someone waiting for a run to happen and it's either not made or it's too late, or the pass is overhit. So I think, if we had a bit more of a cohesive team with a higher level of chemistry, I think those players would shine out even more. But you can't follow his tenacity. When I watch the highlights back, you can see him picking out some great passes here and there. He's a good dribbler on the ball. And Gus, like I said, probably our best player in terms of quality, but we might be a little bit too dependent on him times, and it can be a bit consistent. And he gives away too many yellow cards.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Any questions for us or anything about us that you want to try and find out before tomorrow?
I've got two really. I think we might have mentioned already, but who would be your point of difference? So I've mentioned for us, ours are sort of Gus and Campbell, and also Cooper and Net. Don't get me wrong, he's also in running for Player of the Season. He's been absolutely astounding for us. So who would your sort of players of your key points of difference in the players? Who would they your main players be?
Yeah, in terms of consistency throughout of the whole of the season, obviously we've had a change of manager, part through this season as well. Would be Jack Radoni that we signed in the summer from Huddersfield. Yeah. He's been outstanding. He's got better and better. And with Lampard coming in, you can see him progressing and you can see his forward thinking. One of probably the most improved players is Mason Clark, again, who we signed last January, but he stayed on with Peterborough. So he only came in the summer as well and had a little bit of a stop-start with Mark Robins in charge. But since Lampard's come in, he's just hit the ground running and is taking players on. He's got a trick. He's got an eye for goal. And, like I said, is in the running for probably most improved, for me anyway, most definitely. Yeah. But yeah, Sakamoto, he's starting to come into a bit of form. He had a bit of an injury. He played Preston last year and really hurt his back. And I think it's took him pretty much a season, really, to get back to where he belongs. So sometimes with players with back injuries, they've kind of got to go into challenges and realise that they're not going to get hurt the other end. And it's just took a little bit longer with Sakamoto to get back to how he is. But the past sort of 2-3 games is really come on, and we're seeing the best of Sakamoto as well. But like I said, Torp, he's got better. The defence has got better under Lampard as well. Oliver Dovin, the past sort of 10 games, in 5 of them, he's probably been man of the match and he's kept us in it. The amount of games that he's a quality goalkeeper, and his distribution is just brilliant as well. I would like to see him come out a little bit more and command his area a little bit more. But, he's still only young. He's only 21 years of age, I think 21, 22. So the best years are to come for Oliver Dovin, who got called up to the Swedish side as well. Didn't play, but he got called up.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're really starting to click a little bit. We can don't get me wrong, we can have our games where we're absolutely shocking, like Derby was. But we tend to do that. We tend to sort of not we tend to, not play very well against the teams that you're expecting to beat, especially Derby being down somewhere down the bottom. And then the next game, we go and beat Sunderland and absolutely dominate start to finish and win 3-0. Against the better teams, we do generally come out. For some reason, against Leeds, when we lost 2-0, we just gave them too much sort of, there is a word I'm looking for, it's escaped me, but I hope we don't do that against you and give you too much respect. That's the word I'm looking for. We gave them too much respect. If we don't give you respect and we get in your faces like we did against Sunderland, then I think we can go and play, and we can go and play well. Whether we'll get something, I'm not sure. If you offered me a point, I would take it now. But I think going off our last game, we'll do okay, I think. So, what was your other question?
So how confident, I'll just cut back to what you said, you mentioned there about getting in our faces. I think, if you stand off us, give us time and space, we'll probably take about 70 minutes to get a goal, but we probably will win fairly comfortably. But running at us, we're not the biggest fan. If we've got Sousa, we might be okay in that department because he can handle the heat. But other players, we might end up Chowder, who can put in a good tackle that, but maybe sits too deep. Peck, like I said, a good player, but still a bit of a rough diamond. So people running at us, we're not the biggest fan of that. Whereas Preston came and were really, for some reason, sat back and we had almost too much time on the ball because we had time to think, and we don't. I'd almost rather us have on an instinctive a counter attack. But I think the other question is, how confident are you of the playoffs? So obviously we've got 8 games to go. You're 2 points clear of 7th. Obviously the Baggies and Bristol in not too bad form themselves. How confident you of two-parters? How confident you getting into the playoffs? And if you were, how confident would you be of winning?
I think on our day we can beat anybody, and I think it all depends on us. To answer your question, if the players are at it and up for it, then I think we stand a really good chance of staying there. After a poor start, I wouldn't be fussed about not being in the playoffs. Of course I would be, because that's where you want to be. But it wouldn't be necessarily the worst thing. The only issue that I've got with that is that you're always in the potential of losing players and having to rebuild again. And it's always hard doing that. So, I think we can stay in there most definitely. And I don't think the next 2 games are going to define our season. Against you guys tomorrow and against Burnley next Saturday, which is on Sky. If we can take 4 points off the 2 games, I'll be happy with that. If we could take 3, wouldn't be the worst thing, I suppose, as well, against 2 good teams that are up there. It means we've taken 6 points off, 2 of the top 4 teams. So, you can't argue with that, really. 1 home, 1 away. So, if we could get 6 points, it would be absolutely amazing, especially if Sunderland do happen to slip up. We're only 10 points off them. That would make it, take 6 points. If they lose the next 2, for instance, we're only 4 points away. So, and then home advantage for the playoffs if we stay in there. But there's a lot of things that can still happen. So, I think if we stay in there, I think over 2 legs, I think we'll give anybody a game. And then the final, if we happen to get there again, we've been there, a couple of seasons ago against Luton. It's kind of whoever turns up on the day, really, that's going to win it. And I think we can do it. Like I've said, but it's about us and about what we do. So it's going to be difficult, but I think we can. I'm more of a optimistic fan, shall we say?
Yeah.
So, going from that then, let's have a prediction off you. What's your prediction for tomorrow night?
I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to United.
Okay, I'm going to go the reverse. I'm going to go 2-1 City. I think we'll just do it. Your luck's got to run out, as you've said. You've rode your luck a few times.
I was saying that in January. was like, here we go. We've been caught out now. We've been caught out. Oh, and then we keep rolling along.
You do. So, but I am going to go for a 2-1. So just before we finish up, before I go into the review of the quick fire questions, just remind us where we can find you and what you do, Ben.
Yes, I do Sheffield United match day vlogs, home and as many away as I can. I'm on YouTube as Travelling Blade. I'm also on Twitter at Travelling Blade as well. Just with one L on Twitter, though, annoyingly, because someone nicked the 2 Ls. Yeah, do match day vlogs for United home and away. I think on there I've got the 4-1. If you scroll back far enough, I've got the 4-1 win at the CBS. So go back and relive that glory. Well, I think I said that if Sander Berge scores a header, I'll buy a Wednesday season ticket. Lo and behold, 12 minutes in, he scored a flipping header. But fortunately, I never bought the season ticket because, so yeah, do match day vlogs for United home and away. Check us out on Twitter and YouTube.
Fantastic. So just a quick review then. Obviously, you did join us in the reverse fixture at the 2-2 at the CBS. So let's go back through some of the questions and what you said, if you can remember what you said. So the first one was player to look out for. Can you remember who you said?
For United?
Yes.
Back in November. I might have said Raksaki back then. It's either going to be him or Gus.
No, it was actually Harry Souttar.
There you go.
Harry Souttar. And then he got injured. It's your fault.
I know how I missed him. I think it was Millwall away, or maybe the one after, something, I don't know. I missed him.
Has that changed?
Yeah.
Obviously, it has changed.
Bless him, he's gone. Yeah, I'd say Tyrese Campbell.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, Boost has been in decent form, though. But yeah, Tyrese Campbell's probably the hot shot at the minute.
Okay. I said, where will Cov finish? And what did you say?
May have underestimated this. Well, I believe I said about 16th, 17th. So, rather naive and ignorant of me. Because I'm speaking to United fan the other week, and he went, Coventry they weren't getting the results, but they were like playing fairly well, and they were in a false position. So I slightly undercooked that one, perhaps.
So where do you think we'll finish now?
Where you are. I don't think you'll quite catch Sunderland, but I think you'll have enough to stay above 5th or 6th.
Okay,
I think you'll get the playoffs, I'm sure.
We'll get the playoffs. Okay, fair enough. Where did you say you would finish?
I might have said 3rd.
You did say 3rd. Well done. Where do you think you'll finish now?
2nd.
Do you?
Wasn't Burnley top 2? I shouldn't have done. There's a few cracks showing in West Yorkshire. Okay. Will they develop though? There's a few cracks.
We'll see.
1 win 4.
Yeah. I also said one player from Coventry you would take. Who did you say? Can you remember?
It was some sort of striker. It weren't Wright, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was Sims.
It
was Sims. Would you change that or would you keep that?
Obviously, Wright's decent. So, what have you got any good CDMs at the minute? Because we're a bit, like I said.
Well, we've got Ben Sheaf, we've got Matty Grimes, we've got Rodoni, we've got Torp.
Maybe Grimes. Maybe he might be a good stand-in for Sousa, from what I've seen.
Fair enough. I also wanted one word to describe Chris Wilder. Can you remember what you said?
I'm going to say legend.
You did say legend. Has that changed, or is he still a legend?
Even more.
Even more. Wow. Okay.
Even more.
Right. I presume you go into the home game?
Yep. I will be going tomorrow evening. Looking forward to it.
Excellent. Fantastic. Once again, thank you very much, Ben, for joining me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
If by some miracle we are in the same league next year, if you go up and we go up, or if you don't go up and we don't go up, it'll be good to have you on next season as well. If we're in the same league, obviously, we probably will.
In the Prem. Hopefully, we're both in the Prem.
Hopefully. But yeah, thank you once again for joining me. Don't shoot off once we finish recording. We'll have a quick chat afterwards.
No worries.
Just remember where you can find us, guys. We are available on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We're available on YouTube as well. Please go and like and subscribe. We're available on podcasts. Go and rate us 5 stars. Wherever you get your podcasts from, iPhones, Apple or wherever else that you do, please go and rate us 5 stars on there. We're partnered with the Anecdote Sports Bar and at the CBS Arena and the Sky Blue Tavern, where I am today. We're sponsored by Right Steel Fabrications, and we're also in association with Coventry Ladies as well. So on that note, good luck for the rest of the season, or the last 8 games, apart from obviously tomorrow. Good luck and safe travels to whoever's going up to the game on Friday night, and hopefully you can bring back the 3 points. Thank you very much, Ben. Much appreciated. Play up.
Cheers for having me.
Cheers, guys.